The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
The Tower, a great place to meet and eat. But did you know the Tower has one of the finest drink selections in our area? And don't forget the margaritas. On Mondays and Tuesdays, stop by and pick up a single topping pizza and get Tower margaritas to go. Enjoy the Tower at home or in our dining room, bar area, or the Tower's signature climate-controlled porch. The Tower Pizza and Mexican in Quincy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad. Joining me today, Gary Kaufman. And Gary, you are the Vice President of Mississippi Valley Beekeepers Association, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, welcome. I know you kind of drew this short straw because someone else is supposed to be here in your place, but thank you for coming. This is, so I talked to Bruce last time about another topic, and he brought up the beekeeping class, and I've been intrigued ever since. So I've been doing all kinds of research online, just about bees in general, and it's fascinating to me. But I do realize that I know nothing about beekeeping. So this class is probably for me, right?
Right. It's really informal. It starts out with the anatomy of the bees. It explains the difference between a queen, a drone, and a worker bee, and their roles of the hive. And then we also go into the woodworking. It's things you should or shouldn't be doing, and a lot of different aspects of how the bees are in the hive.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I was talking to Gary when he got here about interesting facts about bees, because I have I don't know if they're true or not, but one of the things that Bruce was telling me last time, and I kind of looked up, is that bees have, they have this facial recognition almost technology that now we're trying to copy, I think, in the technological world that is, of course, ever evolving. So it's just one. I just wanted to spit that bee fact out. But so I also learned a lot about the drones and the workers and the queen, and all very interesting, fascinating, and they all play a specific part in, of course, the hive, and then the honey, of course, and the wax is used to make food. I don't even know what percentage, but it's very, very important. Right? And of course, I think a lot of people know that the population of bees has been diminishing over the years. So beekeeping is something that I've seen pop up more and more frequently, even around town, which I didn't even know that it was, I guess I didn't know it was okay to have beehives just in your backyard. So is it city legal anywhere?
Yes. Well, it depends on, I should say that there's, you can have bees most every place in your ordinance, no matter if you're in Quincy or you're some out of the sub town like Lorain or Minden or so forth down the line. But you need to check with your city
local
council,
ordinances.
yes,
Gotcha.
to see what their rules and regulations are. But as where it comes into play is they can classify it as a nuisance.
Gotcha.
So that's the only stipulation there is. But they're not something that you have to worry about. The cities don't usually bother you anything on it.
Gotcha.
Unless you get into 10 or 15 hives in your backyard.
Right. Then which is also very fascinating to me. So I learned something else real quick here. So when you see the swarms of bees, you see pictures of them, and they tell you to call people like yourself to come relocate the swarms. It's because they're moving. They've outgrown their current hive, and they're moving, and sometimes splitting into two. Right. I just think it's so interesting. How the importance of bees, yes, is very cool, but just how things work, and they learn as they grow. I think bees when they're first born, or I don't even know how they're born, was probably something I could learn from you guys, but they don't automatically know their role in the hive. They're taught that, which is so cool. Yeah, it's just very cool. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I just think it's so cool. So again, when I heard about this class, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely registering for that. So let's talk about the class. It is being held Saturday, February 24th. And it's 8:30 to 4:30. So it's an all-day event.
Correct.
And it's held at the Adams County Farm Bureau, and you have so what'd you call Bernie? So Bernie Andrew is what?
Bernie Andrew is the state bee inspector.
Okay. Do you know? I don't know what that is.
Okay, he goes around. He's actually works for the state of Illinois, and you're supposed to register your bees each year.
Okay.
That you have. It don't cost anything, but in that scenario, he comes around and checks your bees for any types of diseases that you may have that you don't know about.
Interesting.
And since they've started doing this, we used to have what they call foul brood, European foul brood, and you'd have to burn your hives or try to get rid of it. So you'd burn your bees and your hive and everything. You'd start over from scratch.
Yikes.
Since that has happened, the state of Illinois hasn't had but 1 or 2 cases in the last 10 years. So it's really helped the life of the honeybees.
Sure. Now, is this stuff that you can expect to learn?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, see, this is all just real cool to me. So the class, again, is February 24th, 8:30 to 4:30, and you will provide lunch for a donation. And then if people don't want to stick around if they're not happy with the lunch that's being served, there are restaurants all around, because, again, it's at the Adams County Farm Bureau in the lower level, which is at 330 South 36, so pretty central.
Correct.
Close to a lot of stuff. So,
Right.
and it's $40 per individual or household. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're a married couple and kids want to come, the whole thing is still $40.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So it's not just, we're not charging each individual, it's just
The household.
just the household itself.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's a great deal. And I asked about registration because I can assume that it is helpful to know how many people are coming in advance, but you don't have to, right?
That's right.
Okay.
You just, if you want to just show up that day, you're welcome to come in.
Okay. All right. Registration starts at 8 a.m. on Saturday, February 24th. I plan to be there because, again, it's just fascinating to me. And if you've ever wanted to learn about, beekeeping fundamentals, I guess is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't have to become a beekeeper to come.
Yeah.
If you want to just come and learn more about the honeybees, you're welcome to.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, because I mentioned it to my husband that I would like to go to the class, and he's like, oh, great, are you going to start keeping bees now? I mean, he always goes along with a lot of my ideas. This one, though, I think he's like, oh, gosh, Ash, do you know what you're getting yourself into? And I don't, but if I come to this class, I probably will learn, right?
That's correct.
All right, there you go. Saturday, February 24th, Mississippi Valley Beekeepers Association is holding beginning beekeeping classes. So if you're interested, show up at the Adams County Farm Bureau at 330 South 36th Street in Quincy, or contact any of the fellows associated with the Mississippi Valley Beekeepers Association, which we will link to this interview.
Okay.
All right.
And also, they can go on to our website and
Oh, okay.
pick it up.
What's that?
It's Mississippi Valley Beekeepers Association. It's on Facebook.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right. Well, Gary, thank you again for coming and talking to me. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you Saturday.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much. All right. Coming up next, I sit down with DOB, and we talk about what scams to look out for next.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan-favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
Kelly's has been a fun place to eat and drink in Quincy since 1982. A fun and friendly atmosphere, food with flavor, homemade cinnamon rolls, and famous cheese soup, the best menu in town. Kelly's, 2902 Broadway, Quincy.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center. Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
And welcome back. Joining me now, my favorite BBB guy, Don O'Brien. What's up, man?
What other BBB guys do you know?
I don't, but
That's some of your favorites.
Yes, you're my fave. What can I say? You're just.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime. So we were just talking. Of course, it's like the season of love. Mm-hmm. Now that the Super Bowl is over, we're into everybody's prepping for Valentine's Day. Which you just told me a fun fact. You proposed on Valentine's Day.
I did, back in 1993 in Charleston, Illinois.
You big old sweetie.
Giffen apartment number 33, I believe.
Oh, my goodness. Your wife's a lucky lady.
Yes.
She really is. So love is, of course, a wonderful thing. But it also brings about opportunities for people to fall into some traps, we'll say, right?
Yes.
So scams, of course, you're always here to talk about scams, not just proposing and love and la-ti-da. But so some of the things I was looking online about, some scams and saw some pretty crazy things that people pull.
Yeah, well, we just had, romance scams are probably the number one thing that you think about at this time of year. And you talk about, scams that involve some type of relationship.
Yeah.
And this is different. People are like, okay, what's the difference between catfishing and romance scams?
Yeah.
Because catfishing is something that a lot of younger people talk about. Obviously, there's a show on MTV that's been very popular for a number of years. And catfishing, those folks that do that don't necessarily go in with the intent of taking money or information from someone. Whereas the romance scammers, their entire script, and they do have a script that they adhere to from first contact to how deep you can get them into.
Yeah.
It's all scripted out, and that's what they want to do. They want to get your money, or they want to get your information, and more than likely your money. And we believe that romance scams are one of the most underreported scams, for the simple fact that not only do a lot of people lose money on these, but there's the emotional damage that's also done as well, because these folks, they believe that these people care for them, and they care for, vice versa.
Sure.
And, if you've been taken advantage of one of those, it's very hard. If you know someone who's been taken advantage of in a romance scam, it's very hard sometimes to get them to admit that they've been scammed and that the person on the other end of things isn't real.
Right. Well, and I think they just don't want to believe it. I mean, of course, it's, it's embarrassing. But as you mentioned, the emotional side, one of the things I think we've all seen the scam. Prince so-and-so tries to email you and, or this guy is. One of the things that, I've seen recently is you follow a famous guy on Instagram, and then another account follows you back, and it's not the legit, but it kind of looks like it. And then they kind of convince you as a follower that it's this famous person and that they're attracted to you or that they want to get involved, right? Mm-hmm. Which is so dangerous.
Yeah, we see sometimes that, maybe not famous people, but what we see a lot of reports of are older Americans who get suckered in by folks who claim to be in the military. Oh, yeah. Militaries, they use this false valor. And, they say that they're stationed overseas and they just need help with some bills. Or, that'll be the first thing is they'll throw a small line into the water to see if people will bite. And if they do, then they're like, okay, well, let's see how far we can take this. And we at Better Business Bureau, we've done a couple of studies on this. The first one was about romance scams as a whole. We found a victim in the St. Louis area who had lost $2 million
Holy
over a
Jesus.
several-year period. So it's not as if the person lost $2 million at once, but she believed that the person she was communicating with
was in love.
Was in love with her and needed money and needed these things to help him and his family while he was, quote unquote, deployed overseas. And a lot of these things they originate on social media or on dating apps.
Right.
So one of our tips we have is if they take you off of the platform that they contacted you on, if it's Tinder, whatever it might be, if they take you off that dating app and want to try to start texting you or things of that nature, just be wary. And another thing, obviously, I'm sitting face to face in front of you.
Right.
Let's say I want to do this interview. I could do it remotely. I could do it via Skype. I could do it via Zoom.
It's the way of the world now.
Way of the world. You can. If this person is stuck in Egypt on military duty, he or she should be able to get in front of a phone or something and do a quote unquote face to face with you. And if they won't do that, that's another red flag that the person may not be legitimate.
Right. I mean, I just can't imagine. So here's one thing. I know the embarrassment part, or, not wanting to admit to being scammed or taken advantage of, because it is, I mean, it's hurtful. It's embarrassing. You don't want to look like you are, incompetent or unintelligent, but it happens. And people can be very convincing. And especially around this time of, the year, really any time of the year, but people pull on the heartstrings, and it can happen to anyone.
It can, and the victim, again, we see it. Not to say that younger people can't fall victim to this, but this is something that usually affects older Americans, and obviously there's been a lot of isolation for a few people in the last couple of years, and I think that some of those folks that have been victimized, if their family found out about it, they may say, well, gosh, guess what? This person's not able to take care of themselves now, so we need to put them in a home or something, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to lose their independence. So there's a lot of factors that play into it, and the perpetrators of this do a very good job of finding their marks. Right. You really have to be careful if you're on social media. I know that we've talked about here on before. If you're on Facebook, make sure that your Facebook is locked down so only you know and know who's seeing your things. Only take friends requests from people you know. If you get into groups or something, make sure that you're very careful about who you communicate with in that group, because you never know who's lurking out there.
Right. And all it takes is one private message, we'll say, and they're off to the races, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yep.
Well, it's unfortunate that people use, something like love or interest to scam people, but it happens. And if that happens to someone, what do they do?
Well, there's a couple things you're going to want to do. You're going to want to reach out to your local law enforcement first, just to let them know about it. Now, the chances of them being able to do anything and recoup any of that money is probably going to be a long shot. Depending on what information you gave that person, you might also want to, contact the FBI's ID theft page on it's IC3.gov is to report through FTC. There's also an ID theft division through FBI that you're going to want to check out, and you've got to report it. So that's the one thing that we talked about, it being an underreported scam. If you've been affected, if one of your loved ones have been affected. We just had one reported. I was just looking over our BBB scam tracker before I came in, and someone from the St. Louis area reported that their grandmother had been in contact with 2 people online, and he'd given away $4,000 over the last couple months.
I saw that one.
So it's, you can report it obviously to our BBB scam tracker. We don't have the law enforcement arm behind us. That's going to go toward the FBI and the FTC. Mm-hmm. But, just reporting it is big, because we can't help you, and we can't find the help for you if you don't report it.
Right. And you can't help other people.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Because I think that's a big part of it. When I was looking on the scam tracker, which is very interesting and is very informative, and it kind of helps you prepare yourself, be a little more proactive, right, to be on the lookout for things. But yeah, it's just real interesting. And where do they go for that?
BBB.org.
BBB.org.
Or you can just you do a simple search on whatever your favorite search engine is, and say BBB space scam tracker, and it'll take you right there. You can see everything that's reported from any scam. You can put in 62301, 62305, whatever your zip code is, and you can see what scams are being reported in your neighborhood, let's say, and you can see what's being reported around here.
Well, it's always nice talking to you. And I think next time we're going to talk about scams having to do with tax season, which,
it's here. Yeah.
I mean, taxes are bad enough. Then you get scammed on top of it.
Yep.
Man,
I know it.
That's a double whammy.
They're always working their angles.
They are. You gotta look out for them. And DOB, you are the man for helping us, stay proactive and be on the lookout for these scammers.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Always nice talking to you.
Thanks.
All right. I think that does it for today's Daily Muddy. We'll catch you here tomorrow.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.